Good morning. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite motivated son. I am the diaspora Michigan. My people, all in all, it was another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's faith. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you re-enslaved the African American, the Latinos, etc.? All in all, it was a beautiful day for a protest. But there's nothing particularly interesting that I should bring to your attention as it relates to my protest. And as you know, when I have protested, and when I have updated you as to what transpired while I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring to you something from the word of the Most High God. We are still in the book of Revelation, and we are now moving forward from Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And we are going to continue before I take the segue to make some connection as to what we have done previously when I connected Revelation chapter 13 with Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 16 to 68 and Daniel chapter 2. And the reason why I did that was to show you that the Most High spoke about the Caucasians even before Israel inherited the promised land. Remember the last thing we were speaking about the beast that came out of the earth. And that beast that came out of the earth represented the United States of America. And if you could remember clearly, a detailed description was not given to the beast, and that is because it was a mixed multitude. It was not just one nation. For America has become a collection of all of the nations on the earth, including the Caucasians. We also discovered that America had the power to bring fire from heaven, as was related in Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And we explain how that part of the prophecy had already came to pass in the Gulf War. So now let us go to Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. And it says, and he deceived them that dwelt upon the earth by the miracles which he had power to do, saying to them that dwelt upon the earth, that they must make an image to the beast which was wounded by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that it did live, and to speak, and to cause all of those that did not worship the image of the beast should be killed. One thing we have got to remember is that the United States of America is just over 200 years old as a nation. But one of some of the things we are going to go into here happened hundreds of years before America became a nation, even before America was discovered by the Caucasians nation. But what we must also remember is that the prophecy that introduced America in Revelation chapter 13 also said that he will practice all of the behaviors and actions of the first beast. We have to remember that America is just an extension of the Caucasian nation. That means the people that makes up America, even though they are from different nations, they have the same quality of the Caucasians, and that is they are all soulless. The only difference is the Caucasians have always been soulless, but those people, those members of the other nation that makes this place their home, became soulless by their own actions. Some of them may have been deceived into becoming soulless, but even their deception was a result of their own action. Remember, Adam and Eve were deceived by the devil, but they had the responsibility to take the actions that caused them to become a fall away. Adam and Eve becoming a fall away did not happen because the devil deceived them. It happened because they fell for the devil's destruction. That is the same thing that happens in America. The people who call America home, did not become a fallaway, or castaway, or reprobates because it was received by the Caucasians. They became reprobates because they took an action. Even though they were deceived, it was their actions that makes them become castaway. So when we talk about the image of the beast in Revelation chapter 13, especially the image of the beast that had the wound, the deadly wound that was healed, we are still speaking about the beast is the Caucasians nation, right? So an image of the beast will be a replica of the Caucasians nation that ought to be worshipped. I am going to burst some of your bubbles. The image of the beast in this case is Jesus the Christ. You must be saying, Chief, how can you come to such a conclusion? An image is a physical representation of a person or a thing. And now, if the Caucasians is the beast, that means the image will be a physical representation of a Caucasian. That is how it has become Jesus. Remember, every creature, as described in Scripture, that dwells in the heavens is either bronze, burnished brass, gold, or amber. They represent someone that is black, and those four colors give you four different dimensions of blackness. The only time heavenly creatures was described other than amber, bronze, burnished brass, or gold, it was the fallen angels, and they were described according to Enoch chapter 125 verses 1 to 6. They were described as being white or red with beautiful eyes and white hair. It was the Caucasians nation intention to ensure that every member of every nation of the world becomes a castaway. And the only how they can do that was to lie in the name of the Most High God and to lie in the name of His Son. And because the Most High God, even though He does not get directly involved in the affairs of man, He would not allow the Caucasians to lie in His name or to lie in His Son's name. So what do? They change the name of the Most High God and they change the name of the Son of God. The concept and the name Jesus Christ was created between AD 225 and AD 331. Here, this Jesus was given a character. He was given dialogue. And the dialogue of Jesus in the New Testament, it is a combination of dialogues. The dialogues of the Bishop of Rome, and the dialogue, some of the dialogue is from the Son of God. The Son of God said that He did not come to do His will, but to do the will of His Father. He did not present anything new or different from the prophets. If you want to know the difference between the dialogue in the Bible, which is that of the Son of God, and which is that of the Roman bishop, you have to compare them with the Old Testament. For even the Our Father prayer was not the Son of God's original dialogue. When the Son of Man repeated the Our Father's prayer in Matthew, He was only repeating the prayer, the very first prayer that Adam repeated after he fell. That was the prayer that accompanied the very first sacrifice that Adam had to perform. So when Jesus said in the New Testament, love your enemy, do good to those who hate, despitefully use you, and all of these nonsense, what He's saying here is to love the Caucasians. Because remember, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68 says, your enemies are those people who bought you as slave. So you see, the dialogue of Jesus in that case is teaching you how to love, to reverence the Caucasians nation, those people who the Most High God said in Malachi chapter 1 verse 2 to 4, you should hate. How did the Most High God said? you must deal with your enemy. Deuteronomy chapter 7, he said, you must utterly destroy them. Utterly destroy your enemies. Don't give your daughter to their sons, and don't take their sons for your daughter. He said, don't make marriage with them. So ask yourself this: why would the Son of God go against the teaching that his father gave to the most renowned prophet in all of history, Moses? Remember, Moses was not just a prophet. Moses was the deliverer, the man through whom the Most High did all of his miracles. So Revelation chapter 13 verse 14 also says that he deceived all that dwells upon the earth, that they should make an image unto the beast that was wounded with a sword and did live. This is a double entendre. That means it has two meanings, and the two meanings are applicable. Now, the first meaning is Jesus the Christ. They made a white creature and they proclaimed that creature as God. And we got to understand that the principle or the concept of Jesus came in AD 331. But the physical appearance of Jesus came in 1498 when Leonardo da Vinci drew the Last Supper painting. It is here the physical principle of Jesus came about. If you go online and you Google Jesus, and you will see pictures of the Jesus in Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper come up. Now, who is this person that Leonardo da Vinci drew? You see, in this era, most artists drew these murals based on models. And Leonardo da Vinci wanted someone to represent Jesus and other people to represent the disciples. So who did he get? He got Pope Alexander VI, the Pope that commissioned Leonardo da Vinci to draw the mural of the Last Supper. He get Pope Alexander VI homosexual son by the name of Caesar Borgia and his homosexual lovers. If you notice, the picture of Jesus looked very effeminate. That is because Caesar Borgia looked, he was a homosexual with many, many, many lovers. So when you worship Jesus, you are really worshiping Caesar Borgia, Pope Alexander VI, homosexual son. And that is why his disciples look so effeminate also. The second meaning of this part of the scriptures is they were going to recreate the principles and practice of Rome, because remember, Rome was represented by the beasts that got the deadly wound and were healed, because remember, Rome was a world conqueror, a world leader, but they became just a province in Italy. But the monarch of Rome was given a place in Italy, 9 acres, the Vatican City, where the monarch of Rome maintained sovereignty over the Vatican. That was when the deadly wound was healed. Now, what part of the Roman culture and history they want us to replicate? In Rome, they had a practice that was widespread. Most people think that the Roman Catholic priests raping little boys and getting involved with homosexuality, they thought that these were just rogue priests who were unable to control their sexual passion and were willing to take advantage of young children. But this is not so. Homosexuality was an integral part of the Roman culture. The Roman even had a festival that was dedicated to homosexuality. It was called Saturnalia, and it was a 9-day festival. In Saturnalia, all law and morals were suspended for the period of that festival. This gave the adult Roman Caucasians men the rights and the privilege to go about in their communities and rape young boys because they had to believe that if you were the first person to deflower a young boy, then you owns that boy's life. He owes you his obedience. You take all of his power. So Saturnalia was really dedicated so that the Romans could go about and get involved in homosexual rape of young boys in order to own their power and to control them. Because think of it, if a young man was deflowered by Mr. Jim, and that young man had very much potential, and he grew up to be the President of the United States of America, and Mr. Jim has total control over him. Who is the President of the United States? Not the young man, but Mr. Jim, because every dictate that Mr. Jim gives to his slave, you have to carry it out. America have deceived the entire world that nothing is wrong with homosexuality. And to have homosexuality as a crime on the law books, as in buggery, is not right, and it should change. Now every nation on the earth is rushing to repeal their old buggery act. They are altering their laws to make marriage not only between a man and a woman, but also between two men and two women. And Canada and other countries are taking it a bit further. That's saying a man can now marry, or a woman can now marry their pets. Not only did they create a literal image of the beast, the Caucasians, which is called Jesus Christ, but they have also replicated an image of those practices that were held dear to the image of the beast, the Caucasians nation. And those practices is homosexuality. Remember to like this video, share this video, leave your comment on this video. Let me know what are your thoughts about what we have discussed here. There are many more videos like this right here, so go down and peruse those videos and let me know what are your thoughts about those videos that you peruse. I would like you to like or subscribe based on whatever social media platform you are looking at. And remember, my name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the Diaspora Machismo. I'll talk to you on Monday.